Dear friends, welcome back to Automate with Rakesh. In this video, we are going to learn around multi-language translator project. Before you learn this multi-language, that means it can translate any language from any language to any other language. Doesn't matter, French, German, Indian languages, any kind of a language. I would show you all the different languages that are present to be able to translate it, and the list is quite huge. Before we get started learning to build this project, let me first show you the demo. So here I have the UiPath assistant and I have published this multi-language translator project. Let me first run this. So the very first thing it is asking, select your from language. So I'm going to select the from language. You can see the list of different languages that are there. Okay, out of this, let me select the very first language as Hindi. You can test with any other language. Click on OK. Then it is asking, write any sentence in Hindi language. So what I've done, I've got a notepad where I have typed in Hindi. I'll copy this and I'm going to paste it and click on OK. The next thing it is asking, select your to language for translation. Now here I'm going to select English. Click on OK. That means it will translate that Hindi language which I have given as an input to English language. You can see how are you has come. Now let's try with some other language. For example, let me try with Telugu. Okay, Miru Ela Unaru means how are you. Now let me run it. The from language, I'm going to select Telugu. And look at it. The moment I'm selecting Telugu, in the title of the message box, write any sentence in Telugu language. It will automatically. So how can you build all this kind of things? I am going to teach you. I'm going to paste this language. Click on OK. And then let's translate it to some other language. Let's say Hindi. Now wait for a few seconds while the ML does the job. Now you can see it has typed and translated Telugu into Hindi. Aap kaise hain? Great. And the same thing can be done for any other language. For example, let me translate Marathi. It is all the same. How are you? Tu kasa ahes? And into Odia. Kemiti ochanti. So these are the different languages. So I'm going to copy this language, Marathi, and let me run it. And here, let me select Marathi and paste the Marathi language. Tu kasa ahes? Now I would like to translate it to Odia language. Wait for a few seconds. The ML will do the job. And you can see Tume Kemiti Ocho. So this is how it is exactly translating how I need. So great. Now this is an interesting project. If you are interested to build this entire project, all you do simply watch this video entirely. You will get to know and you will have a similar kind of automation on your computer. So let's get started. So most of the steps in this project would be the same as I have shown in the previous set of my videos, creating a project, providing a name and all that. Now here, once you have built the project, all you have to do, simply come to machine learning packages. No need to go to data set, data labeling, nothing. All you do, simply come to machine learning packages tab. And here, click on out of box packages. Inside this, for this project, I'm using the open source packages. And here you have something called language translation. This is what you have to click. Now, once you click, you could see there are multiple different models are available. English to French, English to German, English to Russian, multi-language translator. So the one that I have used is this one, multi-language translator. I'm going to click on this. Now, any machine learning package that you pick, it is most important to read the description, license and everything. Okay, so let me tell you what is there inside this. This is a Hugging Face integration of no language left behind. They have covered almost all the languages what I saw. Shows by Meta AI Research. It delivers translation directly between any pair of 200 plus languages. You can find the full list of languages and the corresponding code to use for each of this, and there is a link. Please open this link. And also the model was published under the following license. Open this license so that you go through the license, commercial use, modification, distribution, private use. Okay, all these things you can go through. And the next thing, what are the different languages been covered? So if you see, it has covered many languages. Almost 200 plus languages are there. German, French, English, right? Almost all different kind of languages I was able to find. Italian, Indian languages. Okay, you can see the use list. It's a use list. Next, what should I do? How do I use it? Now once you have selected this, hit on submit, enter all the details and hit on submit. What would happen by doing that? The ML package will be listed here once you have selected and given a name. All this thing I have shown it in the previous set of videos, and I feel you are already aware of all of these steps. Now once this is created, then go to ML skills, create a new, you select that particular package that you have created, provide a name and hit on submit, without making much changes here. Now remember this ML package that you have selected, right? This is a not retrainable model. So you cannot retrain, it is already fully trained and it works quite well. Now the important part here is this JSON. Okay, so let me copy this to a notepad. Okay, so how to use this JSON is something you have to probably learn, and I'm going to show you that. Now once your ML skill is created and made it available, okay, if you are not sure how to do it, kindly watch my previous set of videos where I have in detail explained. Okay, so now the ML skill is available. Next thing, what should I do? I have to open the studio. Let me open my studio. And in this, I'm going to show you how you can use this model. So let me open one of the projects. And let me create a new sequence. I'll name it as automate with Rakesh test. Okay, now let's see how to use that model. Now remember, there are two project dependencies. What are those? One is UiPath web API activities. The other one is UiPath ML services.activity. Here for this model, you really do not need a web API activity. You can simply go with machine learning services.activities. We just need one activity called ML skills. Okay. And here all I have to do, I have to select that specific machine learning model, which is multi-language translation ML skill. And once you do this, you need to learn how that JSON can be used. So the input that you provide. So let me go back. And I'm going to copy this entire JSON, which was available on the AI Center. Go here. And I'm going to paste it here. Okay, now how do I use it? Now look at it, there is an error the moment you close it. So there is already an auto fix option. Okay, you can simply click on this. This is a new feature that you are getting, so it will automatically correct. Now still after correcting, there is a small problem. So I'll tell you how do you correct this specific problem. So what you do, if you see, because this has to be a string, the input has to go as a string. Whatever you write inside doesn't matter. Now, the machine learning model needs the input in a JSON format. Now, if it needs in JSON format, all the data should have a double quote. So that means the double quote has to be enclosed by another double quote outside. Do you see it is enclosed? So in the JSON input, what is there? Only small change what I found is you have to put a double quote here in the text. So after doing that, you can see that your JSON is working perfectly fine. So how it works? The first one is the text, whatever you would like to type it here. UN chief says there is no military solution in Syria. Now here after a comma, there is a from language. So here I am providing the from language as English Latin. So what is this code? Let me show you. You have opened these two links, right? Now in this two link, there is something called, for example, I want to translate it to English. So I'll do a Control F, English. Okay. Now here there is a code available, ENG-LATN. If you would like to convert from ENG_LATN, this is the code you have to enter in the JSON. So in the from language is the key, colon, and then here you have to enter that code ENG_LATN. Similar way for the to language. It is pretty simple. You copied the JSON from the ML package and making the changes as you need. So here it is written FRA-LATN. You can put any such code. So this is, I think this is a French. So Control F, French. So yeah, FRA-LATN is the code. Okay. So this specific code is there under the title floors -200 code. Okay. So this is the code you have to copy, whichever language you need, accordingly you can copy that. Okay. So here by default, let's see how it is working, then we will convert all of this. So you understood the entire JSON now, from language to language, and here actually you write your input. Okay. So to make it simple, we'll replace this input with a simple how are you. So we are converting how are you from English to the French one. I'm going to hit on save. Pretty simple. Now, how do you get the JSON response? So for this, you do not need a web.api. That means deserialize all these things. You don't have to do it. It will directly provide you a JSON response. So let me click on create variable and simply say JSON response. And how am I finding all these details? It will directly give output and all that. By going to AI Center ML packages, you would be able to see all the details of that. Okay. So if I go back to ML packages, out of the box, language translation, multi-language translator. So here all the descriptions are provided. The model will return translated text in targeted language. So there is no JSON kind of a format. It is a pretty simple output it will give, string out. Okay, so I have created a JSON response, and the JSON response variable is a string variable. Now all you have to do is simply print this, or use a message box rather. Okay, now if I run this, so what is the input we have provided? How are you? That should be translated to French now first. Okay, wait for a few seconds. So this is the French. I'm not a guy who knows French. So this is how it has actually written the output. All right, now what you have understood from the technical standpoint, what you have understood, okay, if I have to convert from one language to the other language, all I have to do, instead of passing this ENG_Latin, probably I can pass a variable and pass a value to make it more dynamic. Same thing goes with the to language. Same thing goes with the input. So the earlier demo what you saw, that was very dynamic. Whatever you select, it translates it. Okay, so this is what you have to tweak to achieve the project. So let me show you how you can build the project. First of all, as you have got the clues how you can really make it more dynamic, I would recommend you to do this project on your own. you got the clue, right? How you have to just place a variable here to pass an input, place a variable here to pass the to language, place the variable here, right? Place the variable here for from language and to language. So you got the clue. Build the project on your own to exercise your brain and understand, okay, how you can build this. Okay, build this code. First you try. After pause the video here. In case you still need some help, I'm going to explain how you can build it from here. All right, so pause the video, try it on your own, then watch this. Now let me show you how this project I have built. Let me go to the projects panel, and also I'm showing you all the different dependencies that is there in the current project. Let me go to the project panel and let me open a multi-language translator test. Yeah, this is the one. So what I have done and how did I achieve that project? Let me show you. Okay, so what is the technique? The very first technique what I have done, I have created the moment you have opened the link, the very first link, it has shown you the list of different codes. So I need these codes. So somebody is selecting English, then I should be able to, and I have to show them all this list of languages also, the left side one, so that the user can easily go and select it. Now, how did I achieve it? All these techniques are involved to build this project. So what is the very first step? So let's go one by one, okay? So the very first step is I have created a Excel file where it is. Automate with Rakesh. So this is the Excel file. Let me open it. So what I've done, I went to the website and that table what I shown you, I copied this entire table. Okay, this entire table I copied until the end. You can see it is a huge list of languages. So until here I copied it, okay, and I have pasted inside the Excel. So I got language column and this code. So entire thing I have copied here into my language sheet. This is your very first step. Now let's go back to the studio. And then I'm going to store that output in the DT1 variable. You can see it, okay? DT1 variable I have stored in a data table variable. Now the next question comes. Okay, after I have read this, I have to literally use an input dialog box, and where I have to show these choices, all the language choices. For that, I have used, before this input dialog, I have used a assign activity. In the assign activity, I have created a variable called language list, and this variable is a list of string. What is it? List of string. Now I have to assign that one column value into this list. So this can be easily done through a link query. Pretty simple link query. Have a look. Data table 1 as enumerable dot select function of row. It is going to iterate through the data table, and then it is going to convert to toString. What? The row dot language. So what I'm doing, I'm simply selecting the language column values and translating that to a list from data table. So pretty simple code. You can make use of this code. So what happened? Finally, the entire column of my Excel, this language column, now is getting stored in the list variable. Pretty easy. Great. Next thing, the input dialog box. So in the input dialog box, the title I have kept as language translation. Input label I have select your from language. Okay, select your from language I have typed. And then in the input choice, I have kept it as a multiple choice. And here in the input option, I have written a small code again. So what is the code? String.join. So this has to be separated by, when you have to have a multiple choice in an input dialog box, that should be separated by a semicolon. So this semicolon I have placed, and then I have placed this list variable. So what happened? It will go through the list and put 1 semicolon. So by this, it will give you that drop down. In the demo you saw, it was providing a drop down to select. So this is how it will give me a drop down. This is the technique. After that, whatever the user is choosing, that is going to get stored in the from lang select. This is the variable. This is a string variable. Okay, from lang select is a string variable. So the choice is selected. So the very first thing you are asking is, you select your from language. Now next thing what you would ask, Then you would ask, okay, after selecting write any sentence, right? That is all you will ask. Now this from language, which is a string, you have to feed it back to the ML. Where would you feed this, the from language, to this in terms of a variable, right? Here you would put a variable. So for that, what I have done, I have used a assign activity after this. Okay. So in the from language, because after the user selects the left side values, so he selects this left side value, right? For example, he might select German. So what is the code, the adjacent code for it? DU_LATN. How do I get this code? Whatever he selects the left side values. I should be able to get the right side value for the ML2 function. In the ML, you can't pass German. You have to pass DU_LATN for German, the code you have to pass. So for that, I've used another assign activity where I am creating ML from lang. So this is again a string. So in this string, what I'm doing, I'm passing the code. So how do I pass? This is again a pretty simple link query. DT as enumerable. Okay, I'll just make it slightly large and go to the right. Okay, DT as enumerable dot where. So what I'm writing, function row of field of string language. So whatever that language column is there in the data table equals to from language. So from language select is done by the user. So whatever he has selected, let's say he has selected German. So it is saying wherever the language column equals to German, then you select, again select function row field of string. Then you select floors 200 code. So floors 200 code means the second column in the Excel. In this you select which of that value is. Okay, these codes are pretty helpful for you. So please make a note of all this. Okay, code and then first or default. So anything which comes first, you pick that code. Okay, so now this is the code which would help you to show you like this. Okay, hope that is pretty visible. You can make a note of this. So this is the code I have used. Now this code is going to pass the code back to the ML_from language. Now this variable contains what I need for the ML package. The code it contains, the from language code. Same thing, input dialog box where I'm asking, okay, now here you write any sentence. So here what I'm saying, in the input label, there is a change. What I'm doing, the from language, for example, he selected German, he selected Hindi. So that also would appear in the label of the input dialog box. Write any sentence in Hindi language. So it will show that message. You saw that, right? Write any sentence in Telugu language. Write any sentence in German language. So it will give that exact prompt. So this is made dynamic. Great. After this, what I'm doing, after one, this is done. Next thing what I'm doing, I'm using an input dialog box. So here you'll enter the input. So that input I am storing in the input variable. Again, this input variable is a string variable. Great. So now we have got the input. Only thing now pending is the to language. Again, in the to language, I'm saying select your to language. Select your to language for translation. I've written the label. And then here again, what I'm doing, here again, I'm providing the same language list. You remember in the very first thing, assign activity, we have got this language list. So this language list again going to show him the list of different languages which you would like to select. You would select it. And after selecting, again, whatever the language he has selected, the toLang, I'm going to pass it to machine learning underscore toLang. These are all string variables, okay? ML toLang is a string variable. Okay, now what is the code? The same code, only thing you have to change few things. So here DT1, the same code, the previous code I've given you. Here instead of from lang select, you would put toLang select, to language select. That means just now what the user has provided, that value you have to pass it here. And rest of the code remains same. So whatever, let's say he has selected German to English. So if the to language is English, it is going to pass that code. It will look for the English language and the right side column whatever value the code it contains, you are going to select the very first or the default one. Okay, first or default method. Pretty simple. And once you got these three variables ready, all you do, instead of passing the values directly here, or now what I have done, see, look at the code. When you are passing a variable, you had two double quotes. Now you have to add one more double quote and a plus sign before and after the variable. See, input is a variable. Similarly, this ML from language is a variable. Great. Similar way, the ML2 language is another variable. So there should be three codes. Okay. So if you have written the code properly, let me keep it a little bit for you to refer. In case you have made any double quote or anything wrong, you can easily verify. So this is the code that you are passing to the ML. And after passing, simply you are printing the JSON response. So finally, let's run it again. So let me convert from English to German. Let's see how it appears. Okay, I have to close my Excel file because I have used a workbook activity. Pretty simple logic. Now, any one of you who has built this project, please do comment in the comment section that you have built this project on your own. Okay, in case you have taken a reference, you have built the project, just write it. So the very first thing, I will select the to language as English. Okay, so you can see the to language I have selected as English. So the list variable is now showing me the entire list, right, from the Excel file actually. So let me select English. Done. And the input dialog box is working now. So I've selected English. So it will go to the from language select. Click on OK. And after that, the from language select, it will get the code to ML from language. Here I'm writing any sentence. So I'll write in English, how are you? Click on OK. Now what happened? It is showing me select your to language translation, right? So this one is completed. Now it is here in this input dialog box. Select your to language. So I would like to get that in German, for example. Click on OK. Now what happened? It got the values to the to language, and finally this is the German. I don't understand, so it should have done a pretty good job in translating that. So you can see I have got the value what I want. So this is how the project is built. If you have completed the project, ensure you have put a comment so that I know people are learning from all these videos that I'm creating. Thank you for watching. Let's meet once again with some new content, with some new learnings every day. Thank you. Keep watching.